So that's where we begin here. Get your comments in on the YouTube chat. We want to hear from you. Jeff Goodman, UConn wins this game. They bounce back from the loss to Kansas. What did the reigning national champions show you tonight?
That they can win another one, that they're in the hunt to win another one. Again, I'm not going to put them as like a front runner or anything like that, even though Danny Hurley's going to be pissed at me for saying that because that's just Danny Hurley. But ultimately, here's the deal with UConn right now is Tristan Newton's turned himself into a really, really good point guard, okay? Alex Caravan is a terrific player and not shooting the ball well because he had the dislocated finger. Donovan Clingan hasn't even played well yet. Hasn't played well yet at all. Sampson's been great. To be honest, that's been their best lineup with him at the 5, to be honest, because defensively, some of the things he can do, and then offensively, he's a lob threat. He can go up there and go get it. And you look at Castle, this is first game back, basically. So you think of what they did tonight to Carolina, what they did going into Kansas, almost beating Kansas at a place that Bill Self never loses, and they have 3 guys that, to me, aren't near what they're going to be. And I just talked to Dan Hurley about that, and he said, listen, basically he called me an idiot.
Well, he's not wrong.
Yeah, basically, without calling me an idiot, he called me an idiot for not having trust in them in the preseason when I went there for practice. And again, I was hesitant to put them as a title contender with everything they had lost.
Look, I was there too, right? I was in the same boat as you, where I thought that this UConn team was going to be a little bit closer to like a 3 seed than a team that's going to be in the mix for a 1 seed. They're absolutely going to be in the mix for a 1 seed as long as they do what they got to do in Big East play. But I think it's the growth of Tristan Newton. Like, we knew that he was going to be a good player. Yes. He was the best player on the floor in the national title game, right? You know he's going to be a good player. He's gone from a good player to like a bona fide All-American. I have a very real question for you. How many point guards in college basketball right now are playing better than Tristan Newton?
Not many.
I'd make the argument that Isaiah Stevens is at Colorado State. He's been unbelievable. He's averaging 18 and 8
Newton's
for an 8
in the conversation. That's all you got to say. He's in the conversation. And if I had told you that a year and a half ago, everybody, including Dan Hurley, would have laughed at us. Cam Spencer is as pivotal
Can I just take you through a stat line tonight?
Portal.
Cam Spencer, 23 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, 8 for 14 from the floor, 0 turnovers, 36 minutes. Amazing. You can't do that.
No.
Especially coming off, again, he's still not 100%. He's not. And then you throw in, all these players, right, that fit together. Solo ball was awesome tonight. Awesome. And I talked to Jason Smith, his coach at Brewster Academy, and I said, are you surprised? And he said, no, not at all. He's even keel, great shooter, just knows how to play, isn't going to get too high, too low. And then you throw in Dan Hurley, one of the best coaches in the game right now. So, again, I think it started with they lose to New Mexico State in the tournament, and he says, we're not going down this way anymore. We're gonna get shooting. We're going to get guys who can move the ball, and obviously toughness.
We will be joined by Cam Spencer in a few moments. Rob Dauster caught up with him downstairs. We're here at Madison Square Garden. We're better to be tonight. Jimmy V Classic was on fire here. This building was absolutely terrific throughout the night. Carolina fans brought it. A thought on North Carolina watching them live.
RJ Davis is good, man. Like, he is good. And it's nice to see him. I didn't know if it was going to work playing him off the ball. And it's working for them offensively, playing him off the ball. He's got
except that he's small. So, like,
5 straight games. Yeah,
the only hard part is defensively.
Yeah, 5 straight games of 20-plus points, right? And I think what we're seeing is him kind of embracing this role as being the go-to guy that he wasn't able to be the last 2 years with Caleb Love. And that's not a shot at Caleb Love. I promise you it's not. But getting him the chance to be like the number 1 guy has been good for him. I think Elliot Cadeau has been terrific so far this year as a freshman. I didn't necessarily see that coming. I think Harrison Ingram has been fantastic.
Much better than we thought. Yeah.
I'm worried about them defensively. Like, they gave up 92 to Tennessee. They gave up 87 tonight to UConn. You're right. With RJ Davis and Elliot Cadeau in your backcourt, you are going to be limited on the defensive end of the floor. Will it matter if you're able to put up 90? No, but if it's going to be a night like this and you don't necessarily have everybody having
those guards aren't big-time rebounders. Yes. They're not helping out in the glass enough. So then so much is on Baycott and Ingram. And, then they put Jalen Washington in there and against, Clingan, he's just tossing them around.
I think your point is so well made because heading into the year, the consensus was for this UConn team to be in that top echelon. It would mean that Donovan Clingan was an All-American.
Yes.
But the fact is, tonight, he was in foul trouble. He committed his third foul.
It's a non-factor.
Just a half minute into the second half.
Yeah.
Samson Johnson just brings a different level of energy off the bench, and he gave Armando Bacot issues.
He did, and it wasn't just him. It was a lot of guys coming at Bacot. That's the difference, right? Newton is an elite guard rebounder. Cam Spencer can go in there and get boards as a big, strong, tough wing. You know, it felt like Bacot was every time he was going for a board, he had 3 guys around him every single time. And that's kind of, again, that's a culture thing for Dan Hurley is you're always going to go with toughness, number one. But now he's got skill to match offensive skill.
Well, I mean, that was the change that he made in heading into last season, right? In the 2022-23 season. He made a conscious decision to say, okay, we can play with the same level of toughness and the same mindset and get some of these kids, but we got to get guys that can make shots and we got to get guys that can make plays as well. And that's what you're seeing with this group is they're able to space the floor. I mean, think about it like this. They shot 31 threes tonight.
Yeah.
If I would have told you when Dan Hurley got the job that he was going to have a team that took 31 of their 66 shots from beyond the arc and win a game against North Carolina by double digits, I don't know if that's necessarily what you would have imagined with a Dan Hurley kind of a program. And the other thing that I will just say about this is I think getting Steph Castle, I don't think people understand like the value that he brings. And the reason I say that is because what UConn is kind of lacking right now, and we talked about this a little bit after the Kansas game, Jeff, what they're lacking right now is 2 things. One, another guy that can go make something happen at the end of a clock on his own. Cam Spencer did it tonight against a North Carolina team that's not a great defensive team. He couldn't do it really against the Kansas team that had 3 great defenders on it. Steph Castle's a guy that can be a difference maker there. And 2, we always talk about big athletic wings. Like he is 6'6". He's built like a 26-year-old. And that level of defensive athleticism is something that will be huge for them.